Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. On this September 11th, the anniversary of the attacks on America, the precious metals markets move on, and business as usual moves on. And who would have thought that 18 years later, we'd be talking about tweets and how they can affect the markets and gold and silver prices. Let's explore. Yes, this comes to us from the Wall Street Journal. Gold rises after Donald Trump tweets on interest rates. So we're seeing a little bit of a rise in gold and silver prices from this tweet here, but let's find out exactly what he says. You know, the president has made no bones about his criticism of the Federal Reserve. So the 4-day losing streak after the president urges the Fed to cut borrowing cost. The price of gold rose on Wednesday after President Donald Trump renewed his call for lower interest rates, urging the Federal Reserve to cut borrowing costs below zero. Gold for September delivery closed up 0.3% at $14.94.40 a troy ounce on the COMEX division of the New York Mercantile Exchange, snapping a 4-day losing streak. Mr. Trump said on Twitter that the Fed should cut rates to zero or less. Wow, or less than zero. That is something that's never been done before. The president has repeatedly criticized the central bank and its chairman, Jerome Powell, for not lowering interest rates fast enough, saying looser monetary policy would help the economy. Lower interest rates tend to boost gold, which struggles to compete with yield-bearing investments when borrowing costs rise. Prices for the metal are up around 17% this year, buoyed by worries over slowing global growth and a drop in bond yields. Fed officials are set to cut rates likely by another 0.25 percentage points at their September 17th and 18th policy meeting. I believe they'll do that as well. Let's take a look at the tweet from the president. The Federal Reserve should get our interest rates down to zero or less, and we should then start to refinance our debt. Interest costs could be brought way down, while at the same time substantially lengthening the term. We have the great currency power and balance sheet. You know, some of that does, would make sense in terms of refinancing our debt, which is massive, but that's sort of another conversation. But I kind of understand a little bit more Donald Trump's thinking there. Mr. Powell, who has defended the Fed's independence from political pressure, framed the July decision to lower the Fed's benchmark short-term rate to a range between 2 and 2.25% as a mid-cycle adjustment, which means there may be more rate cuts coming down the pike. Meanwhile, U.S. oil prices were down 2.9% to $55.75 a barrel, despite a report Wednesday from the Energy Information Administration showing that U.S. crude investors fell sharply last week as refinery activity unexpectedly picked up. And typically, when you see that happen, oil kind of works sort of at the same rate that gold does in returns to the dollar. So the dollar may be up, but it's interesting that the gold went up, oil went down. Prices for Brent crude and the global standard were down 2.5% to $60.81 a barrel. Oil prices have fallen for 2 consecutive sessions, as some investors bet that the departure of John Bolton as President Trump's national security advisor will dial down tensions with Iran. Crude oil stockpiles fell by 6.9 million barrels to 416.1 million barrels and are now at about 2% below the 5-year average for this time of year, the EIA said. Analysts surveyed by the Wall Street Journal had predicted crude stockpiles would fall by 2.4 million barrels from the prior week. While bullish for oil, the data was likely anticipated by the market after the American Petroleum Institute reported a drop in crude supplies, analysts at Citigroup said in a note to clients. So very interesting and fascinating to see. Let's take a look here, coming from gold price, where these metals are. Up $10 gold is, to getting really close to that $1,500 level again. Silver's now solidly above the $18 level. Now we're at $18.14. Gold did move up more as a percentage than silver did, but not by a whole lot more. And we can see platinum is the big winner today, up $15, a 1.62% increase, and palladium is up. Almost $100 more than gold right now, $16.25. That's not good for those who want to get the palladium reverse proof eagle tomorrow. That leaves me out. I'm tapping out on that one. I'm not going to continue that collection. But nonetheless, it is interesting and fascinating to see where things are. Gold jumps from a tweet. And 18 years ago, we never would have thought that something like that would be possible so quickly and with the information at its fingertips through a social media platform known as Twitter. Obviously, it's the president saying it, so it holds a lot of weight. But we see here that's the psychology of it all. You know, when the president tweets or when the Federal Reserve chairman says something, you know, people interpret it and the markets react. Whether or not they're rational in that action is a whole other story. But nonetheless, it is fascinating to see where the markets are moving. I think we're going to see these metal prices kind of hover where they're at. We may see them ebb and flow a bit here and there, but we'll see how things move forward. But I believe that the days of $1,300 gold are probably gone for now, and the days of $15 and $16 silver are gone for now as well too. I say for now because I don't want to say never, because we've been down this road before. But I think it's less likely now that the prices are going to go creep down below that, unless there's some massive changes in Brexit, and we have some resolution there. We have resolution with trade talks with China. We have codified the USMCA, the trade deal between Canada and Mexico. Until we see things, some certainty and some calmness in the markets, we're not going to see the prices of the metals dip back anytime soon. And we know that we can pretty much bet that all these things will be left up hanging until the election is over. And I think once the election is over, then things will change one way or the other, whether or not Trump is reelected or his opponent wins, whoever that opponent will be. And that just goes to show you how closely, in many ways, since this is psychological and it is also political. Unfortunately, that's kind of the way things work. We have to factor in politics with regards to many things. But, you know, I think that the natural market forces, left their own devices, would be a much better scale to weigh out where things are with the precious metals. There's always going to be psychology involved, whether or not there is political involvement or what have you. And this is why I always believe that recessions are typically normal practices, regardless of policies that are put into place. I'm just of the mind that the less government intrusion, the better. The lower the taxes, the better for businesses to thrive and for the free market system to really take root in this nation. I think that is what is the best method. I think that if left in that regard, where there's more, when the free market can operate and people are more in control of their own destinies financially, I believe that when the recession does come, the corrective measures that will happen will be much better and will be a stronger economy for sure. So there you have it. Post your thoughts below about this tweet and about what President Trump thinks of the Fed. And what do you think about negative interest rates, 0 or less? A little bit scary, in my opinion. I'm not sure how to, when you have negative interest rates, that means that essentially you're paid to take out a loan, and any money you have in savings, you have to pay to have it in there. So I'm not sure what I feel about that. That we've never been there before. I think Japan has done that, but we haven't. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude, y'all, for watching. Post in the comment section below about this video and click on that notification bell because I believe it's working now, as long as you have it enabled on your phone as well if you watch from the phone, but on your desktop or what have you, if you want to be alerted to the most recent videos that come out, because some people say, hey, do a video about this, and I just did a video about that, and they missed it because they didn't get the notification. So I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude, y'all, for watching. Have a great day.